guys think about the
That is
movies that like
insane.
I kind of mentioned? How did we get from haha this is fucking funny to I'm feeling away, you're a rapist?
Well, I think that it's more of an issue of us progressing as a people. I mean, if you even look at those movies, take Porky's, for example. I mean, Porky's was just all out of control, but that was in that time,
It was okay.
it was okay and it was comedy for that time. And like everything in life, I think everything sort of evolves. So I don't necessarily see that as yeah, how it, even though it is like part of the culture or a movie culture or whatever, and how now they're saying it's rape culture. Yeah, because some of the things that happen in the movie is like, that wait a minute, was we really like okay with this shit back then or whatever? Like in the movie Porky's, there's a scene where he's like peeking through a hole and he's watching somebody
Yeah.
undress or whatever. Like that was funny. It was like, oh, haha, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But now that shit is like highly fucking inappropriate. Like, would you really be okay if you found out that somebody was peeping through a hole at you while you undress?
Well, I think, at that time it was still kind of boys will be boys, and that's kind of the kind of stuff that men and boys did.
Yeah, but there and in the movie he's not grown either. Like he was a kid. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay, but I just feel like kids do that shit out of being kids and
Curiosity.
being
Well,
curious.
they were college kids in that movie, right? Or were they
You're
in high
like
school?
five in college.
Were they were either high school or college area?
You're still what, early 20s?
Still, but
Yeah.
my point is though is that that really should not have been acceptable then. It really should not have been, but it was okay because during that time, like that kind of comedy was okay because it's like very slapstick or whatever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, but again, like as we evolve as people, things change, and that's also how I see the situation with kids being able to not being able to ride their bicycles around the neighborhood or whatever. Because it's not as safe as it was back then. I mean, I used to ride my bike like damn near 20 miles from my house.
Every day was an adventure.
Right.
So but would I allow my son at that age, at the age I was riding my bike? No, I would not be okay with that. Like a couple of streets over, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
But like not like way across town like how I was riding my bike.
So what do you think the things are that are specifically not as safe?
I mean, I think that one, we have what do you call them? Sex offenders. You didn't necessarily have that registry when we were coming up. It was just, oh, don't
Stay away from Uncle Charlie.
exactly. It was stay away from that
The
house.
house,
Like
yeah.
I distinctly remember I had a friend and I could not spend the night at her house. My mom was like, no, she can come over here, but you can't come over there because, which I didn't know. Like she had it was like 100 of them or whatever, but her dad was a drunk. I just thought he was crazy. I had no idea. You know what I mean? But my mom knew, and so she was just like, he doesn't necessarily seem, excuse me, safe for you to be around at nighttime or whatever. So I mean, it was more so of that situation of everybody sort of being on the lookout for your neighbors or whatever. And I
Yeah.
would say now, like I don't even know my neighbors. I have no idea.
You ain't missing shit.
But I mean, but you can go up and you can go on the website, sex offenders website, and pull up everybody in your neighborhood that has some type of offense. And if you see that, then it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. Well, maybe my kid shouldn't be just hanging around like that.
Yeah, I'll just say that I mean, it was the same, even though we didn't see it and it wasn't
Yeah.
like right in our face. We
It
were
was
just more naive. Everything was real like
But you didn't
oh,
have the access to the information. I was
right,
saying.
like
And that's
like
what I was getting
like
ready
you could
to
go
say.
down to the police station and say, "Hey, I'd like to, see if there's any record of people in my neighborhood being XYZ." But it's like I guess it helped, but did it hurt us too because it kind of took away some of that
It makes us the culture's now
freedom.
hypersensitive.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We're hypersensitive.
Yeah.
Like I remember that story I was reading off HuffPost where like those kids were protesting because they served fucking burritos at an immigration thing or something, and they were like, you're being disrespectful to Mexicans. No.
It's
Bitch,
a
I'm
fucking-
hungry,
It's
bitch.
a burrito.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I think people are hypersensitive. And also, to piggyback off what you said, I think with having things like social media and, like she said, the predator finder, whatever, online, even with social media now, like, stuff travels so fast. I mean, it's a good thing because it can help people that, maybe like those Amber Alerts, shit like that. But then it also makes it more insane and makes people, overthink stuff because you're seeing so many more stories now. Like, the media wasn't covering the stuff that they were covering things, but the media like covers like every little small thing that's
Right.
wrong that's going on.
President Trump
anyway.
wiped his ass and he didn't use Charmin.
Yeah, but then also, and they make their viewers and ratings and all this other shit off of just reporting the negative, crazy
Right.
shit. They never have to say, and a feel good story for the night. Like, it's
Right.
never that. It's always, oh my God, excuse me, this happened, this is wrong, this happened, this happened. So, I mean, it's in your face, like, so much more. On top of the fact that having social media stuff travels from, one country to another in a matter of a couple of clicks. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's just more readily available. And I think that's scary to people because I feel like it was the same back then, like when we were growing up. But I don't think, like Danielle said, it was just you weren't as knowledgeable. You kind of just knew your
Right.
area. You knew who the fuck your kids hung with. And hell no, matter of fact, we couldn't even go into people's house. Like, it was a certain amount of people on the street. You can go into this house, and this house. Don't fuck with this house. Don't fuck with these people. Like, you knew that you weren't gonna, be allowed to.
Well,
hang
I
out with
think
certain
that
people.
like areas of actual sensitivity that we've progressed is like just basic name calling. I mean, just 50 years ago, we were colored, and my mom could not, drink from the same fountain or go to the same bathroom, and at that time, to call somebody colored, it was sensitive to them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that was hurtful and they didn't like it. And so we've changed. So, I mean, I think that that's a good example of how we were sensitive about something and we progressed and it changed. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think that being sensitive towards something is a bad thing. I think that a balance is needed. Like, one area where I see that we are like too sensitive with children is like where you have everybody gets an award. You get an award for participating.
Yeah, I
like
hate
that was
that
like
shit.
one of my pet peeves when my son played basketball at the YMCA because it's not competitive. It's like, oh, everybody just have fun, but it doesn't necessarily teach you anything in the process. And so it's like you need to learn something. You need to build character. You need to build discipline. And you don't learn those things when everybody sort of wins. Because in life, everybody doesn't win.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think that there is a balance that's missing with being sensitive.
Well, shit, even people that win basketball championships, even if they ask to roll the bench the whole time, they get a ring.
Yeah.
So,
But the thing, I was going to say about the balance is like, okay, there's a difference between saying, all right, we're tired of being called colored. Let's make a move to have it changed.
yeah,
And-
but it's
and-
like nigga now or nigger now.
Well,
like, it's literally
Well,
that.
it went to Negro right after that. It was Negro after colored.
Yeah, I
after
mean,
it.
you was a
but
nigga
now-
first, then
right.
you was colored, then you was a Negro.
Negroid.
Now we're black.
Right.
Okay.
African American, black,
Black
Is it?
African American.
Oh.
black
Black
African American, and ninja.
Like, at which point does it stop being? Don't address me like that. Like, but when people are still using almost every single one except for colored. But what I'm gonna say is there's a difference between saying, okay, let's make a change, and just fucking whining about the shit. To me, like, and I hate to be insensitive. I know somebody's gonna be like, "Bitch, you're insensitive." Okay, yeah, a little bit.
A lot of it.
But the thing is it's like, I mean, what can you do about it? Some things are just the way that they are. Like, being like, I can't believe that you would say you're transphobic. Well, that's just not who I'm interested in.
yeah, and that part, that's super fucking sensitive. And I mean, and as far as the name calling with different, with people, different, what black people have evolved from and to and are now, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter. Well, yeah, I am, because I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. It doesn't matter because people are gonna feel how the fuck they're gonna feel, whether you're a colored, a negro, or negroid, whether you're, you know, whatever, like they're still going to feel the same way. That's not changing a name or changing the way you address something is not changing like the way people think,
right?
And the way that a lot of these people have taught their kids, and what their kids grow up to say and do, they just emulate their parents,
right? And I was just gonna say that
to
too.
me, it just that is it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but I mean, even being sensitive to that, like I have talks with my daughter and my son, the older ones now, because I'm like, people may call you, like people are gonna say rude and insensitive shit. And the school that my daughter goes to, it's not just a whole bunch of brown people that go there. So I told her, just be prepared.